Hi Melissa, thanks for coming back in. So last time you were in, you kind of told me about what was going on with you, how you hurt yourself. We did some physical exams and we took some x-rays. So today what I'm going to do is go over kind of what we did last time you were in here and explain what that all means and how we can help you get well.
Okay.
So when you explained kind of like that mechanism of you getting injured, you talked about how you were playing volleyball, and you came back for like a volleyball spike and you injured your low back. You had like a sharp tugging pain, if I remember correctly. And then we did some range of motion exams, and so when we had you kind of recreate those movements, it created pain and you weren't able to move in those directions as well as is normal. And so so we're going to help you with that. We're going to help increase that range of motion and get you out of pain. We also did some physical exams to kind of help us narrow down where the injury is like originating from. And so with physical exams, we definitely found out that it's in your lumbar spine, which is the low back, and found out like what kind of issue we're dealing with here. And so if we take a look at your x-ray, it kind of will tie some things together here. So as we look at your low back, you have, so these here are the vertebrae. And in between, where this black area is going to be representing your discs.
Okay.
So the discs are kind of like a shock absorber in the spine. And so when this decreases, you have more impact coming through your spine, and it's going to affect the joints here of each segment, especially down here in the lower area where you have the most spacing, like where the space is getting the smallest.
Okay.
And so when you compare this, which is yours, to a healthy normal spine, you have this nice curve here which will help with impact and dispersing forces. And you see how they have symmetrical spacing here in between each vertebra. So what we're going to do is...
Looks like mine doesn't have that.
Right, yeah. So when we compare this to yours, we have a straighter spine, we have smaller spacing here, and it's putting more pressure on what's called the facet joints of your lumbar, your low back. So what we're going to do is we're going to try and increase that curve again, so that way the joints at the back area there aren't absorbing as much of it.
Okay.
So we're going to try and get you back into like more of a functional type area.
Okay.
So what we're going to do is we're going to have you come in 2 to 3 times for the first few weeks, and then about 4 to 6 weeks in, we're going to do reevaluation, retest you with these different exams, re-x-ray, kind of see the progress that we're making, and we can go from there. And so it's really important that you stick with me as we do this care plan for you. It's kind of like a coach-player mentality where I'm going to give you, like my best care and my best advice, and I need you to be able to come in and work with me and get the results that you deserve. And so I bet you're wondering what's kind of the cause of all of your symptoms. And so do you remember we were talking about subluxation?
Kind of.
Okay, so I'll explain that again. So subluxation is going to be caused by macro trauma, which is kind of what you experienced when you went back for that spike and it was like too much for your low back to handle. And then it could also be caused from micro traumas, which could also be from playing volleyball and the constant impact from jumping and landing. And it could also be from like toxins. So if you're not eating properly and just like in like a unhealthy toxic environment. And so it can have like really disastrous effects for your health. So you have so your nervous system is going to be what controls your whole body, right? So it's the connection from your brain to your body and your body back to your brain. And so when you have a subluxation, it's going to interfere with that communication. It's not going to allow you to have a full range of motion at the joints themselves. And so with chiropractic care, we're adjusting those subluxations to help you get that range of motion back, to help the brain communicate better with the body and the body back with the brain. And so some of our goals are going to be to get you out of that pain and to increase that functionality that we're talking about. So we want to get you out of pain completely. We want to get you to be able to bend farther left and right, and we want you to be able to extend back without recreating those symptoms. And so how we're going to do that is by the adjusting that we're talking about and having you come in. We're also going to do some at-home care. So we have some pamphlets for you at the front desk, and it's going to explain the different exercises. So we're going to have you do some stretching, some exercises for the low back to help strengthen and stabilize it. And so it takes the weight of your takes the burden off of like the joints of your low back, and so it's like the musculature that's going to be stabilizing. We're also going to do some PT modalities, so we're going to do some ultrasound, we're going to do some laser to help with like the healing process, to kind of work in conjunction with the chiropractic care. So it's going to decrease the pain, it's going to increase blood flow, and it's just going to like work together with the adjustments. And so when we're looking at your wellness survey that you filled out, I'm really impressed. Like, you have some really healthy habits that you should be proud of. Like, it's really great. You eat really well, you take care of yourself, you exercise. Just really small things, like maybe increasing like your water intake would be helpful. And one thing that I did notice on here was you have a little bit of stress going on. And so one thing that I think would really help you is if we had you work into your daily regimen of doing some meditation, doing some yoga. The yoga would help with the low back as well. But just like doing some deep breathing, decompressing after like long day at work, or when you're just feeling a little stressed out, maybe taking just a few minutes out of your time, out of your day to like bring yourself back down again. Okay. Is there any questions that you have for me at all?
No.
No? Okay, great. Well, I look forward to working with you.
All
Thanks.
Right.